We're going to reclaim your leg strength, the hidden nutritional keys to moving with confidence. After 60, do you ever catch yourself pausing at the foot of a staircase, looking up, and remembering when climbing those steps was effortless, when you didn't need to mentally prepare yourself before making the ascent? You're certainly not the only one experiencing this. For countless individuals past their 60th birthday, that burning sensation in the thighs, the shakiness when rising from your favorite armchair, or the slight unsteadiness while walking doesn't always stem from the natural aging process. Sometimes the underlying cause lies silently in your bloodstream, a crucial nutrient your body is desperately missing, often without any obvious warning signs. Here's what many don't realize. This single nutritional gap is gradually robbing you of your physical power, making simple tasks like stair climbing, standing from seated positions, or walking with assurance increasingly challenging. The encouraging news? It's completely reversible, but only when you understand what signs to recognize. The reality is that getting older doesn't automatically equal getting weaker. That vitality, stability, and power in your lower limbs can absolutely return with proper nutritional support. In today's discussion, we'll explore the 3 essential vitamins primarily responsible for maintaining strong legs, steady balance, and complete independence. These aren't trendy supplements or internet sensations. They're legitimate, scientifically proven nutrients your body requires more desperately as years pass. I'll guide you through each vitamin's specific function, how to identify deficiency symptoms, and actionable steps you can implement immediately to regain your footing and move with renewed strength. So if you've been experiencing increased fatigue, instability, or simply haven't felt quite yourself recently, please continue watching. Today's insights might provide the exact explanation for what's been limiting your mobility. Before we begin our deep dive, I'm curious about your experience. Have you observed your leg strength declining or found stairs more challenging recently? Please share your story in the comments or simply greet our community. Remember to hit the like button and subscribe to Health 365, where we're cultivating a supportive community focused on strength, encouragement, and intelligent wellness practices for life beyond 60. Now let's examine the first and potentially most impactful vitamin that could explain why your legs don't perform like they once did. The hidden power of vitamin D, your muscle's secret weapon. Let me pose this question. Have you ever been relaxing in your preferred chair, perhaps after enjoying a television program or reading your newspaper, when the time comes to stand, and your legs seem to pause? You lean forward, grip the armrests firmly, maybe push with your hands for extra support, yet still feel like your legs are saying, "Hold on, I need a moment." It's not necessarily painful. Sometimes it's simply weakness, as if the strength just isn't available anymore. This scenario resonates with many people after reaching 60. However, what's remarkable is that what feels like inevitable aging might actually indicate your body is lacking something specific. Not energy, not willpower, but vitamin D. You've likely learned about vitamin D's importance for bone health. And absolutely, that's crucial. But what many people, including some healthcare professionals until recently, didn't completely understand is that vitamin D directly influences muscle strength too, particularly the muscles you depend on for standing, maintaining balance, and climbing stairs. Your muscles aren't simply large tissue bundles. They're dynamic, living systems requiring constant communication and support. They contain specialized receptors that function like locks, and vitamin D fits perfectly into them like a key. Once connected, it helps muscles contract effectively, assists in post-activity recovery, and contributes to your body's balance during movement. Without adequate levels, that essential key is absent, and suddenly your body begins struggling with everyday movements. Here's where the evidence becomes compelling. A comprehensive European study revealed that seniors with insufficient vitamin D levels were more than twice as likely to experience significant muscle weakness, not mere fatigue, but genuine weakness that manifests when attempting to get out of bed, lift legs for stair climbing, or carry groceries across a room. Another study from Trinity College Dublin demonstrated something even more remarkable. Adults over 60 with low vitamin D had nearly triple the risk of poor muscle performance compared to those maintaining healthy levels. Consider that impact. Simply maintaining this vitamin in proper balance could determine whether you need handrails for stair climbing or can ascend with complete confidence. Perhaps the most revealing indicator, some older adults with vitamin D deficiency develop what's termed a waddling gait, where the body sways side to side during walking because hips and thighs lack sufficient power for proper stabilization. This isn't merely about appearing frail, it represents genuine danger. Weak muscles create imbalance, and imbalance leads to falls. We all understand how one fall can alter everything. Why does this occur so frequently with aging? Our skin becomes less capable of producing vitamin D from sunlight exposure. We might spend increased time indoors, or perhaps we've been advised to limit sun exposure. Even when outdoors, elements like sunscreen or long sleeves block the UV rays necessary for natural vitamin production. Then there's the dietary aspect. While vitamin D can be obtained from fatty fish like salmon or sardines, eggs, and fortified dairy products, most people simply don't consume sufficient quantities of these foods to meet daily requirements. So what's the solution? First, if anything, described sounds familiar. The heavy legs, slow rising from chairs, the need to brace yourself when stepping up curbs. Request that your physician test your vitamin D levels. It's a straightforward blood test that can determine whether this might contribute to your difficulties. Second, consider daily vitamin D supplementation, particularly if you're over 65. Most health authorities recommend 800 to 1,000 IU daily as safe and effective for older adults. Some individuals may require higher doses, but it's wise to consult your doctor before taking large amounts. Third, try to obtain some safe sun exposure when possible. 15 to 30 minutes several times weekly, depending on your location and season. A gentle outdoor walk during early morning or late afternoon can benefit your health more than you might expect. You might not notice immediate changes, but after several weeks, many people report their legs feeling lighter and having more energy. One woman I spoke with, age 72, shared that after a month of vitamin D supplementation and daily walking, she could finally stand from her garden stool without grabbing the fence. She smiled and said, "I never thought I'd manage that again." That's our goal. Small victories, quiet confidence, strength that returns not through force, but by providing your body what it was missing. Once you accomplish that, everything else becomes more manageable, from climbing stairs to walking greater distances to simply standing tall. Vitamin B12, the nerve communication champion. Now that we've explored vitamin D's muscle and balance benefits, there's another silent deficiency that can emerge and disrupt your entire coordination system. Not in your muscles, but in your nerves. This is the next crucial piece of the puzzle, equally important to your mobility. Picture this scenario. You're walking across your living room, nothing unusual happening, when suddenly for a brief moment, you feel like your feet aren't positioned where they should be. Perhaps you stumble slightly, or maybe there's an odd numbness in your toes that's difficult to describe. You dismiss it, telling yourself, "I'm just tired today." But instinctively, something feels wrong. If this resonates with you, you're not imagining things. The issue might not originate in your muscles at all. It could be in the communication system that instructs your muscles how to function. This is where vitamin B12 becomes essential. B12 is one of those vitamins we seldom consider until it's absent. It doesn't receive attention like vitamin D or calcium, but in truth, it's the silent protector of your nerves and balance. It maintains the protective covering around your nerves, like insulation, ensuring signals from your brain reach your legs properly. Without sufficient B12, the nerves in your legs, especially feet and calves, begin malfunctioning. You might experience tingling, numbness, or burning sensations. Some describe it as walking on cotton or having feet that are partially asleep. But here's the critical part. When those nerves are compromised, your brain can't accurately determine where your feet are positioned on the ground. This makes balancing more difficult, walking straight more challenging, and yes, climbing stairs without looking down at your feet much harder. I once conversed with a 68-year-old man who described feeling like he had to watch his legs while walking, as if they weren't completely under his control. It turned out he had an undiagnosed B12 deficiency that had persisted for years. He wasn't exhausted or ill. He simply felt unsteady and assumed this was normal aging. But it wasn't. After just several months of B12 supplements and improved nutrition, the sensation in his feet improved and his gait steadied. He told me, "I feel like I recovered my legs." Let's discuss how common this is. Research indicates that up to 20% of older adults have B12 deficiency or borderline low levels. The challenging aspect is that you don't need to be dangerously deficient to experience effects. Even mild B12 deficiency can cause serious nerve symptoms like poor balance, leg weakness, and slower walking. If you're wondering why this happens so frequently with age, the explanation is straightforward. As we age, our stomachs produce less acid, and that acid is necessary for absorbing B12 from food. So even if you consume meat, fish, eggs, or dairy, all excellent B12 sources, your body might not absorb enough. Add to this that many medications older adults take, like metformin or acid reducers, also interfere with B12 absorption, and you can understand why this becomes a silent problem for so many. What does B12 deficiency look like in daily life? Imagine getting up at night for the bathroom and finding it harder to balance in darkness, or taking a walk and feeling like your legs aren't quite responding to you, or beginning to walk with a wider stance, feet farther apart, without realizing it. These are common signs, and left untreated, B12 deficiency doesn't just cause unsteadiness. It can lead to actual falls and even permanent nerve damage if ignored too long. But here's the encouraging news. B12 deficiency is simple to diagnose and treat. A basic blood test can reveal if your levels are insufficient, and if so, a daily supplement, usually between 500 to 1,000 micrograms, can make a tremendous difference. Some people may need B12 injections from their doctor if levels are very low or if absorption is problematic, but most people do perfectly well with daily pills. And it's safe. B12 is water-soluble, so your body uses what it needs and eliminates the rest. There's no known toxicity from regular doses, making it a smart, low-risk solution for a significant problem. If you've been feeling unsteady, if your legs feel strange in ways you can't quite explain, don't delay. Speak with your doctor, get tested, start supplementation if needed, and give your nervous system the support it requires to function properly. I can't count how many older adults I've encountered who thought they were simply becoming frailer, when all they truly needed was a B12 boost. When your nerves function correctly, your legs move with greater certainty, your steps feel more connected, and you trust your feet again. Once you begin trusting your legs, something wonderful happens. You move more, get outside more, feel safer, and start remembering what it felt like to feel strong on your own 2 feet. Vitamin B1, thiamine, the energy catalyst for your legs now. That we've discussed your muscles and nerves, there's one final vitamin we must address, one that fuels both your energy and coordination. It's the quiet assistant behind every step you take, and if it's running low, your legs might feel like they're made of lead. Let me ask something personal. Have you experienced days when your legs simply don't want to cooperate? Not just feeling weak, but like they're unusually heavy, slow to respond, or completely drained of energy. Almost like walking through thick mud. If this has been happening more frequently, there's one quiet deficiency that could be responsible. And it's one, rarely discussed, vitamin B1, also known as thiamine. This one differs from the others we've covered. Vitamin D maintains muscle strength, B12 keeps nerves sharp, but thiamine helps your body convert food into fuel, real, usable energy. It's like your car engine's spark plug. Without it, your muscles, especially in your legs, can't obtain the energy they need to function properly. When that happens, systems begin shutting down gradually. Some people describe it as feeling like their legs are failing halfway through a walk. Others say they feel exhausted just moving from room to room. But what's actually happening inside the body is this. Without adequate thiamine, your muscles can't produce energy from glucose, your body's primary fuel. So even if you eat well, your muscles feel starved. They're not getting the spark I once met a gentleman in his 70s who told me his legs had become strangers. "They're there," he said, "but they don't want to move." He assumed it was simply part of aging. It turned out he was low in B1, and within 2 weeks of supplementing and improving his diet, that heaviness began lifting. But this isn't only about fatigue. Thiamine deficiency can also affect coordination, reflexes, and your ability to maintain balance. There's even a condition called dry beriberi, seen in severe thiamine deficiency, that directly attacks leg and foot nerves. People with this condition often experience tingling, burning, numbness, and eventually a shuffling or staggering walk. Some even develop what doctors call foot drop, where you can't properly lift your toes as you step. It's frightening and often misdiagnosed as something more serious, but sometimes it's just a vitamin your body has been desperately requesting. Before we become alarmed, full-blown beriberi is rare today, especially in developed countries, but mild or moderate thiamine deficiency is surprisingly common, particularly in older adults. Why? Because as we age, our appetites may diminish. We might eat more refined carbohydrates like white bread or rice, which contain very little B1. Some medications, especially diuretics for blood pressure or heart failure, can flush B1 directly out of the body. Even a diet that appears normal, like toast for breakfast, noodles for lunch, crackers, and tea for dinner, can lack thiamine if we're not careful. When the body doesn't have enough B1, signs creep in slowly. Fatigue, poor memory, mood changes, and yes, leg weakness, cramps, and difficulty walking any distance without tiring quickly. But just like with D and B12, the answer isn't complicated. It's about restoring what your body needs. If you've been feeling like your legs can't keep up with your mind, if walking a block feels like a marathon, or if you've had more stumbles lately without understanding why, speak with your doctor. A simple blood test or even just discussing your diet and energy levels could reveal whether thiamine might be involved. If you're deficient, the solution is gentle and powerful. The recommended daily amount of thiamine for adults is about 1.1 to 1.2 micromolar, which you can obtain through a balanced diet or quality multivitamin. Foods like beans, peas, sunflower seeds, whole grains, pork, and liver are excellent natural sources. But if you've been low for a while, your doctor might suggest a higher dose temporarily. Most people notice a significant difference within days or weeks. You won't suddenly start running marathons, but you might feel steadier when standing. Walking might feel less like a chore and more like something you anticipate again. Best of all, that sense of connection between your brain and legs returns. I'll never forget one woman who started taking thiamine after struggling with daily fatigue and balance issues. Within several weeks, she said, "I can walk to my mailbox again without holding the fence." That might sound minor, but to her it meant independence, confidence, and hope. That's what thiamine can accomplish, not magic, just science. Quiet, reliable, and incredibly powerful for someone who's been struggling silently. Your path forward, reclaiming your strength and independence. So here we are, friend. We've journeyed through the 3 silent deficiencies that could be hiding behind those tired legs, unsteady steps, or that persistent feeling that your body just isn't functioning the way it used to. If anything in this discussion made you nod and think, "That sounds like me," please understand this. You are not alone, and this is not the conclusion of your strength story. It's simply a turning point. You see, aging doesn't mean surrendering your power. It means learning how to support your body in new, more intelligent ways. Vitamin D to energize your muscles, B12 to sharpen your nerves, B1 to fuel your legs with energy. These aren't miracle cures. They're simply the tools your body has been requesting. The truth is, our bodies communicate with us daily. A small stumble here, a struggle to rise from the sofa there, these aren't just signs of growing older. Sometimes they're gentle whispers saying, "I need some assistance." The beautiful part? That assistance is within reach. So today, if you've heard something that resonated with you, don't let it remain idle. Take one action. Perhaps it's contacting your doctor and requesting level checks. Maybe it's purchasing a quality multivitamin. Perhaps it's simply adding more sunshine, salmon, or spinach to your week. One small forward step is all it takes to change your trajectory, because you deserve to move with confidence. You deserve to stand tall and steady. You deserve to feel strong in your own body regardless of your age. If this discussion helped you in any way, I'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below, even just to say, "That's me." You never know who might read your words and feel less alone because of them. Don't forget to click like and subscribe to Healthy 60 Plus. Every week we share simple science-backed insights to help you feel better, move easier, and live with more joy after 60. Until next time, care for your body, listen to its signals, and never forget. Strength doesn't abandon you with age. Sometimes it just needs a gentle invitation to return.